You're listening to Polymatic.media, episode 30 for December 10th, 2017. Welcome to the Polymaticast.
Hey, you got the year right.
I did. I wasn't going to say anything. But yeah, you're right. I don't know why I was doing that. Now that I'm conscious of it, I'm going to be saying 2017 through 2018.
Yeah. Well, by the time it's 2018, you're probably used to it being 2018 by the end.
Maybe, I don't know. Hi John, how's it going?
I have a cold, and it's bothering me a lot. I've had it for like almost a year, a month and a half. No, not a month and a half. A week and a half. Sorry. So yeah,
it's lingering, is what it's
Yes,
doing.
it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah. I take enough vitamin stuff in general for all kinds of reasons, not just specifically for immunity and, getting cold. So normally what ends up happening, at least to my body, is I often have this kind of general problem where I really don't get sick so much as it sort of is a lingering, your body's a little upset for just a little bit. And then that lingers a little bit. And, I got to go through a week or two of just not feeling great all week. And then I'm good. And everyone else around me is dying and coughing and hacking themselves to death. Knock on wood, hopefully that doesn't become the rest of my year. But nonetheless, I will. This is the time of year I get allergies or something. Something's always going on around where I live out here. It's cold. And so my body responds like it's almost like it has a cold, but isn't. So I'm not really sick. I'm just sort of, my nose gets runny every once in a while. That kind
I need a cough button.
A cough button. You need a, what are they? The cutoff. I forget. There's a legitimate name they have for in radio where they hit that every 7 seconds or something. It cuts out. So anyhow, hi, hello, how are you?
Yeah. So, with the bubons out of the way, we got some topics for today. We got the giftening. Alan's been collecting gifts for people for the last couple of 2 months.
Yeah, I would say 2 months. So it's gotten bad that. And I don't know if any of those individuals listen to the show, probably doubtful. But regardless of that, what's been going on is, I don't know, I think I'm up to somewhere around, I'm over a dozen people that we should have gift exchanged for, right? And so I've made this sort of internal complaint to certain individuals or just in general to people that are outside the bucket of gifting. Now, that 14 people also includes like another 4 or 5 people here for like podcast stuff. We sort of gift exchange. Some people don't necessarily, but look, they spend their time for me with the podcast a lot. They spend a lot of their time definitely eating up a portion of their Sunday night. And they do that with me, for the project. So certainly I feel like, hey, it's holiday, I'll give you a gift, right? We're not making any money, otherwise I'd profit share, right? So, but with the group at New Year's, it sort of kind of cultivated into a gift exchange thing. And while I appreciate people are giving me gifts, I only see some of these people a few times a year.
Yeah.
And while we're rather close friends, we only see each other a few times a year. I'd see them more if I went to more conventions, but I don't. So I don't have a heartbeat on what they're into or what console they still have, or if they've decided that they don't like their PS4 and they got rid of it because they got pissed about something and moved on to an Xbox, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what state of where they are all the time. So without letting my tangent go on too long, the point of it is it's really hard unless you can stalk them via social media or they have a well-established list of things like in an Amazon wish list or something like that. It's really difficult to figure out what to get somebody, right? You can generalize it as like, oh, I know you got this, here's a gift card, right? Which seems like it's impersonal, but nonetheless, some of these things I got to plan for throughout the year.
Yeah.
And this year I didn't really do that. I just started later rather than sooner. And And so I would say I've been collecting gifts maybe the last 3 months, right?
Oh, wow.
Including this month.
That's early.
But that's because there are some things that I get that are like fly by night, like, they're in, they're out. They're only temporary kind of gift kind of scenario. And so that doesn't mean that they're collectible as much as they're, everyone can't just get them that thing unless they're hunting and pecking in the same place as I am. So there's that. And then there's the generic, here's a gift. I know you'll like it. It's on your wish list. Or I'm going out on a limb and making a guess that you might like this. And if it's junk, you didn't buy it, so you probably won't care.
Can you do a public Amazon wish list?
Yeah, so I put stuff on there. My only problem is most of the kind of things I want are above like a $25 point, right?
Okay.
And I put those things on there and no one gets me that thing. And so I was like, okay. So,
maybe people don't know that you have a wish list.
They definitely are pretty aware of it. I think they're aware of it because we've all sort of, exchanged, and it's not like whatever email I used isn't accessible, right? They can figure out one of 3 email addresses for me. Or no one's, I think there's definitely people who have asked me, what's your email address for your Amazon wish list in the past? Yeah. So, I think there's some people that know it, but that's often not what they get me. It's like it's ignored. I definitely have some things on there where it's like, the cost for this thing is $40 for a Blu-ray, box set kind of thing for something that I want. Otherwise for me, what I'm most interested is what the nerd problem is. Yeah. Gadgets, tools, and they usually fall way outside of a $25 price mark.
Yeah, and then there's also what is fun right now for nerds, right? Because there's one moment it's Rick and Morty, one moment it's some pony show or something.
Right. Well,
so
most of my friends are also on Facebook, and so there's definitely some things where I do this not because I'm thinking forwards as like, oh, that's a good gift people could get me. Like I'm not calculating about it. So the point of that is I'll say something like what I did Facebook recently, not that you can get it on DVD, is the, The Marvelous Miss Maisel is really awesome, worth watching, right? So that must say something that I think I approve of it, right? And certainly I'll say that about other movies and other things. And it's not like that the group at New Year's doesn't have access to like somebody like Bryce who has a good idea of what I'm into week to week, or what my opinion is, because some of these people can kind of stalk the show a little bit and listen to the first half hour and find out there's something I'm into. So there's that too.
I was looking for a birthday / Christmas gift for you, right?
Yeah, there's a box behind me and something else coming.
Yeah. So I went on Facebook. I did some sleuthing. I couldn't find anything. I probably didn't see it. What else? I went and looked for Bryce so I could maybe contact him to make sure that, But I didn't know his last name, so that was kind of hard to find.
Okay.
Then I was like, maybe I could just send something his way, and then he can give it to you at Christmas, right? So I tried my best, and it didn't really work. So eventually, I just went on Amazon and clicked some items and.
So you didn't find my wish list.
I couldn't find it. I didn't know that was a public wish list somewhere.
Yeah, there is. I have them all private except one to ease the pain for other people. One of the guys was like, hey, everyone get an Amazon gift list together and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, not a bad idea. That's really helpful. But what I wish is so let's minus 5 people. So out of 9 people, we're all gift exchanging. I would say somewhere along that line of if we all sort of colluded with each other, right? Everybody but said person, and colluded with each other. We could all put a little bit of money in, and get the said person one really awesome gift.
Yeah, okay.
And I think that could solve like the above average of your willingness to spend $20-$30. So 20
and reduce the
bucks
total
times,
amount, right?
Right, it gets you about $150. You can get lots of nice little things. And I wish we all sort of did that. And I had thought about adding a project to my list, which may be still in there. And I had a name, and I grabbed a couple domains. And, of course, I never took any bandwidth of my, limited free time to go do anything about it.
So you and me might have been working on the same project then.
Right. So it was like to build a thing so that everyone could sign up, and then you guys can say, okay, this is the gifting, whatever event, and then boom, it would exclude the said individual who's the target of the gift. And everyone could discuss, because between 9 people, there is 1 or maybe possibly 2 people that have the inside track, right? I know Bryce sees so-and-so often enough. More than a few times, and they talk and they chat and they play games together, and they talk to each other, and so I know there's a group of them which I don't seem to have access to or never been invited, and I'm not taking it personal or anything like that, but there's a bunch of them where they have an IRC channel where they talk to each other and game with each other all the time, and that is the bulk of the New Year's group. But me, I don't have access to it.
Maybe that's their channel to collude to get you something.
So they probably collude about me, but the kind of gifts that I often get sometimes are not, it's mostly miss than hit. And again, I'm not, I appreciate the gift. It's nothing more than that. But it's like some people aren't trying at all. So, no, I also get that they might have that same opinion about me, that I'm not trying at all. And if I give a gift certificate, I'd rather empower the person who's receiving the gift. I want them to target in on something that is valuable to them. Yeah. And I don't look at that as long as it's the right gift certificate, right? For example, there's no reason to give me a gift certificate to Walgreens. I don't shop there. And if you know me, okay, that's but Wawa is perfectly fine. If I had a game console, that's perfectly fine. If I had Steam, that's perfectly fine. Like, there's a bunch of opportunities of a good placeholder and saying it's not about the value, it's about the gift and the intention. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So let me just go over some things that I did over the last month.
Mm-hmm.
I went. Okay, so if you are my colleague at work, please stop listening or skip forward about 10 minutes. If you are my family, skip forward about 10 to 20 minutes, right? Okay, so for work, on the 22nd, we have a little moment where we have a Christmas lunch thingy just before Christmas, last day before Christmas at work. Yeah. And I decided to put a little something underneath the Christmas tree at work. So I'm going to put 6 books for the 6 other people that work there. Yeah. And just give them some books, because those were books that I really enjoyed listening to this year, but I bought them in book form because they don't really are not really into audiobooks. And one of my colleagues this week said, "Oh, I don't like books." Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I had this problem last year.
I don't care. I'm just gonna give them the book. If they don't like it, they can give it to somebody else.
Yeah. I had that problem last year with one individual where I got everybody a Lexus, not because it was like an easy 6-pack discount code kind of thing, which I ended up screwing up that coupon. So I didn't end up benefiting by getting a free Echo. But I thought about would it be something they would be into? And everyone was like, I got couple bad responses, right? I got one person who said on the podcast that, "Oh no, I don't like these always listening devices. I don't want that." And so I was like, "Oh." So I had an extra Echo. Oops. And then I went and I absorbed and I got him something else. And then he had said something. I like banged my head against the wall. And so I went and I got him something else. And that was the winner. But it's just yeah, I've been there. I've had that problem.
So for my family, my parents and my brother, I'm giving 2 of them a piece of 1 gram of gold, like in a little card with a little slice of gold. I was like, that's something unique. It's not really unique, but it's weird, and I like giving weird gifts. Not weird, but like something unusual. So that's my plan for them. And then I have to figure out something for my brother, because my brother is a mystery.
If you could melt, it's only 1 gram though. I was gonna say if you could melt it into a little Bitcoin.
Well, you could plate a piece of metal that you cast with aluminum or something, and I don't know if you can put you can plate aluminum with gold. I don't know. Maybe it needs to be something, maybe just iron or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have to figure it out. But I'm not going to do that, because that kind of defeats the purpose of giving them gold.
Right,
The gold is like a keepsake. Just keep it there for a rainy day or whatever. It's not much, but it's like a 1 gram of gold is like $50 or something. So not really that expensive. But that's the basic plan for those. And then I've got some friends that I don't know what I'm going to give them. They might be more into games. They might be more into whatever. Basically the same problem. But the sleuthing of the Facebooks is a good idea usually. Sometimes it gives you the wrong impression though, because Facebook sometimes hides stuff because they don't want to share too much. And I've blocked some people on Facebook that keep posting new posts over and over and over again, and I'm like, yeah, okay, too much information from you.
Yeah, the noisemakers. I definitely have friends who they embrace the social media, whatever, insert specific social media too well, and so you really can't gift with them on that stream. You just gotta go with knowledge.
Twitter is usually a good chance, but Amazon's not really big here, and there's some e-tailers here in the Netherlands, but they don't have really public gift sites. Like, I know that there's a website called Coolblue, and they're a good online seller of things, basically like an Amazon for tech and stuff. But they don't really have a gift page. They should really get on that or something. I'll just shout at them on Twitter for,
So let's talk about that for a sec. So you try to send me a box of stuff, which I have the Pokemon ball with replicator, pieces in it. And this took like 3 months?
No,
right?
It got about a month or two.
Yeah, it took.
It was after Christmas.
It took its week of travel to get here, and then customs kind of held on to it. And then they said, well, we got your gift. Go pick it up. And then I went to go, and they're like, no, we don't have anything for you. And and then they said, oh, well, it's been several weeks. We're going to return this. You better come get it. And then I got it, and they gave it to me. And so it took like a couple months for them to deliver a thing because of the shipping systems failed. Right? Yeah. That's essentially what happened. So you send me boxes through Amazon, which is neat. Awesome. That's cool. Thank you. And I haven't sent you anything because I don't know how to solve this problem easy. Because if I start sending you something, you might not get it until 2019.
Yeah, it's fine.
And it might never leave the U.S.
Yep.
And also the other point, and this is the question, and now I know Amazon's not a good approach, is... What'd you do? Did you go into the U.S. Amazon site?
Yep,
and then
you can just order from
your
there.
Address and shipped it to me.
But it's the same account that I can use for Amazon.co.uk, because in the .co.uk stuff, they deliver to the Netherlands as well. And it's not that expensive. It's a little bit more expensive because there's the international shipping, but it's doable. But if I had known you had like a gift,
I will send it to you. Again, it's more of... But you were also you can sleuth me directly every couple of weeks, so you have that advantage over most people.
But why don't you just open it up? I don't know if it's a good gift, but hey, it's early, so I don't care. Just go ahead.
This one?
Yeah, sure.
There's another one coming.
Yeah, just open it up. It's fine.
Now, I didn't look, but I did crack it open to see it was not things I recognized. Because I have a ton of gifts that are arriving. So I at least have it open. I didn't look. Okay, so I got a box, still a mystery. And I got another box, still a mystery. And I got a mug. Oh,
There should be something more in there.
There is. There's something more. Okay.
Hey, you should be a.
There's a fifth. There's a second box that's coming today.
Yeah, but there should be another thing in there.
Well, there's 4 things that I see right now. Awesome. So there's a coffee mug. I mean, literally, it's a coffee mug. Do you need me to take a picture of it?
Yeah, that might be a good idea at some point.
I'll take it with the real camera instead of a cell phone. Well, thank you for this, Sean. Oh.
Which one is that?
This is the. Can you see it?
Yeah, it's that one. Yeah. So
mug.
what he got was a coffee mug shaped like a pill bottle.
Okay, I don't know if these pictures came out. Good enough. Yeah, so I'll try to read what it says on it. Oh yeah, it's a prescription for drink 1 mug by mouth, repeat. Okay, that's cute. That's pretty cute.
Yeah.
In all honesty, though, because it's got the handle on it, and I'm used to seeing pill bottles being taller. It didn't come across it was a pill bottle.
Okay.
But that's cool. I like it, and it's porcelain or ceramic.
So how many boxes are there?
There was just the one, and like I said, there's another one coming.
Yeah, but I mean boxes in the box.
Oh, there was there is this guy, whatever this is. We've not looked at it yet, right? And then there were 3 boxes.
Okay, so open up.
Oh, okay. Poop
the game.
Is it a card game? Is that what it is?
Yes,
Poop
it
the
is.
Card game?
I saw this on YouTube. I was like, yeah, I gotta give that to Alan.
Is this gonna be poop emojis on it or something? I guess
it's like you have to manage a toilet, and you have to make sure it doesn't get clogged. So you have to put down points until if it's over its amount, and then if it's over its amount, you get all the stuff back.
Oh yay!
And the first one with an empty hand wins.
All right, let's go in here and at least pull out some of these cards. How do you do? This is the only thing with these card decks is how do you get into it without ripping or breaking the top? I always hated that about. You just kind of have to tear stuff. Oh wait, do I have? Usually you get a butter knife out and you just go right into it.
Just the game. I'll share. One of the links is a YouTube video of how to play it. So.
All right, I just want to see what some of these cards look like, so you can also see. I'm gonna pull out one. I'll put it back. Okay. There you go.
Yep. Yeah, there's different colors too.
I'll have to take that to New Year's. See what kind of people give me the looks they give me.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. That was the card deck, the coffee mug, which I have another coffee mug that I'm drinking out of right now. All right.
And there's 2 more boxes.
Yeah. So this says educational innovations. Okay. What's another mug?
Yep. I thought you liked coffee, so I was like, yeah, let's get him all the coffee stuff. Erlenmeyer flask.
Yeah, that's
Erlenmeyer mug.
That's actually might be able to use to make some coffee out of it too. 400 milliliters. Oh, I'll have to take a picture of that though.
It should be 500.
Well, yeah, it goes up a little bit above. It's just marked up to 400.
Okay.
Oh, I need camera thing. Pictures. Wanted to get some reflection on the light. I think it came out okay. All right. And if it didn't, you can ask me to get you better pictures. All right, and then there is the last. I need scissors for this. Another mug, obviously.
Yep.
I was just had this thought today, which is why I was drinking out of the OGN.
Oh, cool.
That?
You got them?
Oh, I didn't get any new ones. I bought them a couple years ago. So I've been thinking about doing that for OG Networks. I also been thinking about getting it for something else. And because I found a pretty good place that does them. I just haven't. I've been lazy. I just haven't been like going on my way to make, do that. If I make some, I'd send it to you, but I fear it'll never show up. And I think that's probably why I didn't send you any in the past. But I'll definitely. I sort of just officiated you into the new website, so Polymatic is going to show up there. So you should get the new design. Okay. So, seriously, gourmet shit.
Yep. I just had to get that one. And then there's another one coming in, and that's caffeine beaker mug.
Oh. Awesome. Okay,
with like the caffeine chemical, shape.
See if I got any good. I think that's a good shot. Yeah, I think there's a good shots. Okay, cool. Well, thank you for that. Now I got... What I was just thinking to myself is, hey, I always drink my cold brew out of, constantly washed out mug or mason jar that I mix it in. And I'm like, I should drink... hey, there's an OG mug. I should drink out of that.
Yeah.
And
I saw you drinking out of that jar, and I was like, yeah, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, well, it's because it's a temporary, I drink out of it. It doesn't last that long, and I sort of sterilize it and clean it, and then that's the thing I drink out of.
So now you have 4 mugs.
Mm-hmm.
Which you didn't pick. So.
Yeah, but the only thing about the beaker, I have to be careful. I have another thing that came from Loot Crate that's also glass that, gives me pause of using it.
If it's from a place that makes also other glassware for signed stuff, and it's usually borosilicate glass, and that's really tough.
Yeah. Right.
So that should be fine.
I'm gonna put that in a way so I don't go wing around it and start hurting.
Yep.
The mugs. I have a feeling I'm gonna do it. I know these things I don't pay attention to. Well, now that I know I can send you stuff out of the UK, maybe I'll do that.
Don't. It's probably gonna get lost because I've lost stuff from Amazon from the UK.
Really?
Postal service here is a flipping nightmare. And I know that the postal service in the US is horrible, but over here they lose stuff, they send stuff to the wrong address, and then never say, "Oh, it got delivered." No, it didn't.
Yeah, so I think what's been happening, not to take this long tangent, but in the Postal Service was okay in the past in the U.S., and then they got really good for a number of years, and then what started to happen is the privatized shipping agencies like FedEx, which have always been good, and UPS have sort of superseded the UPS, the United States Postal Service, USPS, because of the fact of things like shipping by Amazon and whatnot. They're not really particular about other than the delivery state. They support all the things. Yeah. So they have been utilizing their services. And the one thing I noticed out of desperation, clearly, FedEx and UPS here in the States has had a great deal of volume increase in usage for their services, again, for things like Amazon and all this online shipping stuff. So the direct result of this becomes that they started doing something we call local origination shipping, which means that it ships by FedEx. Then the United States Postal Service comes, picks up the hub, and they redistribute among the local postal codes, and the local postal codes finalize the delivery. So sometimes what you do is you get it's in transit, it's here, it's at your post office, and then it could take an extra day. But at least it takes off a lot of stress off the shipping agencies. But our United States Postal Service is going through probably a final iteration of going bankrupt, period. Like, they're going to disappear. They're not going to be around
I like the where they deliver it to your local postal office, because that really works. We have that over here too. And usually with the mess up comes with the delivery guys. But when they deliver it to the central point and you go pick it up, you always get it, which is great.
Yeah.
But not to rant on the topic of mail, because there's too much to rant about that. As for gifts, figuring out how to get the gifts, the sleuthing is probably the best idea. Just go on their social media and try to find what they want, or try to find somebody who knows what they want. And over the year, try to listen to what they say about stuff that they like.
It's hard.
And make notes. I know some people are horrible people to listen to yammer on about the stuff that they really like, but hey, you can try give it a little bit more effort, right?
The only kind of downfall in that is they like something really a lot, and then all of a sudden you don't know that they bought that stuff for themselves.
Yeah, that's a bit of an issue.
I was all about Kids on the Slope, and I was recommending to my friends as not a thing for sleuthing, for a thing for, hey, you might really like this, I really like this, and that's really odd because I really don't like all anime. Says the person with the Anime Podcast. As a result of that, I got a DVD, and I already bought myself the Blu-ray. And I don't even know if you like this. I was really, I get it. I understand. It's hard. I'm fairly private on the expensive buying decisions I'm going to make. Except with you. I think I talk to you about this stuff. Most people don't care about the gadgets or, the things that
gadgets are always usually hard to do. I think it's better for, I used to not like people giving me socks or something.
Oh, I hate it.
But if they get really good ones, that's nice.
Yeah.
This is not, if somebody of my family is listening, do not give me socks, please.
Yeah.
Please do not give me socks.
I would get yellow and pink shirts and yellow and pink socks. And I'm like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But sweaters for my family. I'm like, it's clearly something you think I would look good in, but I clearly realize I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep. It's hard to do, but it's doable. You can definitely do it.
I recognize there are, and look, I have wish lists for things that I'm planning, like, stuff to do in said aka studio, right? There's lots of very extremely expensive things that are planned for a budget kind of things, right?
Yeah.
So this mixing board is perfectly fine, except it's been killing in my channel actually, and I think it's at this point where I've been looking into progressively replacing the thing, right?
Yeah.
I totally upsized, or I should say correctly right sized for a really good recorder. So I got a pretty awesome recorder now. So I think I'm good in that area. But I think there's some other things I could do to fix, right? Certainly, I want to complete a certain round of mics, upscale some of the mics on the other end here. But again, these are not cheap things. These are expensive things, right? I put on my list for Amazon they like Blue Lounge cable boxes, and what they are, they're meant for you to put all your bundle of crap, so I can make this mess here look clean again. And so when the guys are fiddling with cables and stuff, at least it's going to be more difficult for them to screw it up. Or to get screwed up. I don't know. Nothing just seems to occur, no matter whether you tried to or not. So
I was looking at a Sennheiser 380 headset and a microphone at some point for you for Christmas. That was interesting to do.
Yeah, the only kind of problem with microphones.
Yeah,
I think I could definitely improve.
I know what kind of audio snob you are, but I was like, I'm not gonna make a guess on a phone, a microphone. Although on audio, you've talked about the Audio Technica 2035 and the 2020s before, so I was like, maybe we'll do one of those. It's like, okay, I'm
up to now 3 2035s, right? I'm talking on one right now, and then there's 2 more right here. But then I also realized the people with the major voice, and I don't consider myself the voice talent, but somehow, I sound louder than everybody on the show, but it's not because I pipe my volume up higher. My volume never really changes. It's usually at the same point. everyone else is quiet, or the tenets of their voice don't get caught well. So Python, I want to capture his tenets really well, but the starting point on that is a $300 mic, right? And then I would also want to do that for myself, so that's $600. And then, it just becomes this problematic thing, right? If I super upgrade some mics, then I can pass these along to the other, pull those AT2020s off and make them for the spares. And, I can kind of reorganize and, do everything around here. But the major costs for me for the studio, they're major. They're not minor. And that's the big thing, is the best impactful gifts for me. One can't be decided externally by somebody, because the audio stuff is like chemistry, right? Little parts of this, little parts of that, and it might not work out. Headphones,
but
I'm incredibly
the 2020s and the 2035s would have been a safe bet, right? Because you've had gremlins in the last few months.
Yeah, and so my mic burned out, but it was like that mic had been 12 years, 10 years old. So, given that consideration, I got my money's worth for $100, $10 a year. I mean, that's crazy. That's awesome. So, equipment burns out, right? And this is a basement, and it's cold right now. This is not like this basement shares the seasons with the outside world. So
like a giant hole in the wall.
These things just kind of sit here going through. They're not getting put in their nice little foamy case and put away and tucked away in a nice warm little place. They're not. They're going through whatever the motions, because they're sitting here unused for other than a couple times a week. So all right, off on my tangent on that. I recognize, thank you for pointing it out, I recognize that some of my cases are, and headphones. I'm incredibly picky about headphones. I'm wearing these very inexpensive headphones that are not available anymore. These companies who make these headphones, I don't know if they make a limited quantity. They're not doing it to upsize the cost on these things. They just change their mind of what's improved, and they go from good engineering, inexpensive headphones to no, we gotta put all the bass in it. Everything's gotta be bassier. Yeah, everybody's gotta be bassier now. And now they're not good EQ for sort of recording and engineering. And if you want good recording and engineering headphones, well, then their EQ is too tweaked out in certain places, and it becomes problematic. So I'm very picky when it comes to headphones. And even I go through, I'll spend a few $100 and I will buy a bunch of headphones, and I'll go, great, I found one good one. Oh, by the way, it's discontinued. You can't get around.
That's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to get some of the 201s, the Sennheiser 201s. They don't make them anymore. Done.
Yeah.
They're really cheap, but really good.
Mm-hmm.
They're over ear, so that's the thing. And now I got myself the Sennheiser HD 380s.
Yeah.
It's like $137, but they're good enough. And the quality of the audio that comes through, that's so much better than the
what I'm
ones.
wearing today. I was able to buy more of them at some point, so some of these guys have more of them. But in the same respect, they don't make them anymore. And if they still have them new in a box, someone's overcharging for it. And I had even better headphones prior to these that I bought as a prop in a video that I did when I was doing more of the Japanese music video things. We were doing these little jokey interstitials. And I bought them as a prop because they were visible and they looked perfectly fine. They were oversized, but boy, they were the best headphones. And then I unknowingly put them down on my seat and sat back on it and cracked them. And you can't get these things anymore. They don't make them. They're just sort of this intermix of the right resistance and ohms and also size, physical size and driver, and they were closed back, and they were perfect. And they were cheap for me to buy as a prop. Cost me $20, but if you were to buy them new, which is hard to believe because they're probably at this state 15 years old, they go for hundreds of dollars online.
Weird.
Yeah, and they were like a $25 thing in the store. They weren't very expensive things, but they were in that golden zone of perfect, where their EQ wasn't pushed up or anything, and they were perfect. And by the time I bought them, they were discontinued. So, okay, rant off on that.
Do you have anything? Do you have any more gifts to get, or are you done?
Oh, yeah, no, I totally, last night I pulled the trigger on, I realized I started projecting out paychecks coming in and money that I'll have, and then I figured out, okay, the timing. So I definitely bought half of what was remaining, and then I have a couple key things I got to get. And then even today, as I was commenting before we started recording, work Pollyanna's on Friday. So I thought I was going to have more time. That's not true. So as a result of it, that group likes to gift with booze. So so I need to go over to the liquor store and buy some more gifts, and once that will complete some of the gifts on my gift tracker for this year for people. But I still have a couple of very big gifts to buy. I got one person on my list is going to get a very big gift, and I mean a very expensive gift. So that individual doesn't know it, and I just need to buy that, and I just kind of want to wait for, paychecks to pace out. I have the money, but you never know if something goes wrong, right?
Yeah.
And when you're going to spend more than, when you're going to spend an area of hundreds, you just, you be risk averse a little bit. Probably next week I'll go ahead and order it, and it'll take a week to get here, which will fit in the timing of around Christmas time. So, yeah, so I don't know. I definitely do. I probably could bring up the spreadsheet and look, but I would figure there's probably half a dozen gifts to still get.
Oh, wow.
And one of them I think is I have to figure out what said gift is going to be inside that. Like I wrote down a thing, get them this, and now I just have to figure out what that is.
You have like spreadsheets or something to give it all?
I do, because like I told you, in the past, I only talking about 14 gift exchanging right now. Right, 14 people. It used to be bigger, and so as a result of that, it's just easier for me to put all the people I suspect I'm going to be gift exchanging with, and then put in where I'm going to get it from, and where I'm, what I'm getting them, and what's the approximate cost you've researched, and figure that out so I can look at the budget, and then just start kind of progressing it. I know it seems organized, but it's the only way I could survive, because in the past, I ended up buying the same gift for multiple people for the same person, not realizing it. And it gets problematic. I
Every year?
have to track it. Yeah, when it gets somewhere in the year, I get past, somewhere, I don't know, April, March or something, I, lit up the spreadsheet, another one for the year, and I start filling in all the people or take people off I think aren't going to be there, and or add to whatever, and then I start putting in what I think the good gift is, and then I check in with it every few months and adjust it, and then maybe go pull a trigger and buy some gifts. Also, it helps with budgeting, right? When you're buying something, if you're buying 12 things that are $35 on average, and you're getting more than one individual gift, you get several, right? Because you don't know which thing's gonna hit well, right? I might nail one thing, but I might not nail the other. So if you get multiple gifts, then even if they're small, even if it's a bundle of one big gift and a couple small gifts, I'd rather that there's a high degree of satisfaction in the gifting than nothing at all, right?
Are you gonna collaborate with that one gift for that one person, the big one, with other people?
Only one individual who I had asked. I said, "Hey, do you wanna put? This is what I think I'm gonna do," and I said, "This is the budget I'm going for. I think I can get something." And then I found out, yes, maybe a couple years ago, you could get something exactly just right, which was my based research on. Of what that number would be, but I realized, okay, little give is, a little more is probably okay, and then I find out, all those things are gone, and if there was anything in there, and I don't want to give a piece of junk, I want to give something that's pretty solid. Yeah. And there's a reason. I can tell you, I just don't want to say it on mic in terms of recording. And so I asked one other person, said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. You want to put into it at all? And they said, yeah, I'll give you some money for that. And so cool. And so I'll ask other people. I say, hey, do you want to give a little bit, income, a little bit of money for that? And, add your name. I don't no ego about this at all. And they're like, yeah, cool. I just know that I'm taking the brunt of the cost, or I intended to do it alone. So if anyone else wants to participate, fantastic.
Yeah.
I will take some income from it, so that I can reduce the cost. But I'm now higher on the number than I wanted to be originally, but what I was imagining was realistic a couple years ago is not realistic for current times. And it is an electronic. So, of course, the cost is just more. So it just is. And, that's the nature of it. So, but I think the gift itself is going to allow that person to be enabled more than they had been in the past.
Yeah.
And I want it to be a little more agile with where they are in life today than where they, and if that means doing something for someone who's an awesome person, then I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's good. I want to give out some tips for other sites that could be useful gifting. So Amazon, that's a good one.
Especially if they have wish lists that are public. Or
apparently, I didn't know that. Okay, so that was new to me.
They also have an extension in Chrome called Amazon. Well, what it allows you to do is you could go to your favorite anime video site or go into Crunchyroll, and let's say they have something for sale, and you can mark a product, and they'll put that on your public wish list. It doesn't have to live inside of Amazon. So that's a neat Chrome extension or browser extension that they have. That's actually pretty nice.
Give me this. Give me this.
Yeah. I'll send you some links, and I'll have to give you.
No, I meant
email address.
Like the extension name is probably called "Gimme This" or something stupid.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's. But again, how some people do this with like GoFundMe. Sometimes people are super selfish, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's like, I want this. Yeah, but you can afford that. Yeah, but I want someone to give it to me. Like there are people who abuse that, especially if they're Instagram model, right? Those individuals, they totally take advantage of it, and they're not gifting that away or doing it for charity. They're doing it for vanity cases. So, while these things exist for good reasons, sometimes they are abused.
Okay. Adafruit. This is probably a good option if you have some nerdy friends who like to do stuff with...
Like to make stuff, yeah.
Yeah, like to make stuff. Adafruit's probably a good idea. They have boxes and stuff with cool things in them. Or check out Floris.cc, which is a Dutch site, but if you're in Europe or in Holland, that's probably a good idea. I'll probably link that in the description. You can find that later. They have electronics parts.
Oh, really?
They're basically Adafruit, but for Holland.
Okay.
They resell a lot of Adafruit stuff.
Is Spark still something that people use? Yeah.
I don't know. It's a U.S. thing, so I don't know about that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Also, check out other... there is a large.nl, which is a site that sells rock and nerdy stuff. But that's if you're in the Netherlands, that's also an option. They sell cool stuff for, it's still rather expensive for what they actually offer, but hey, it's if you don't exactly know what they like, you can give them a little thing for there, or a gift card or something. But for picking out something with like a specific brand or specific series or other fandom that they like, that's hard. That's very hard. What else is there? Other electronic stores or other e-tailers. Instead of just using Amazon, you can use other ones. Or give somebody, I think you can get an Audible. Is there an Audible gift card?
That's the weird thing is some of these places that would be great for gift card don't do that very well. They do them as like a temporary manner, like the right stuff.
Yeah, so you can give somebody an Audible gift membership, right?
Okay,
so you can give them like a 3-month for $51.75. Okay, so you can get them basically 3 books.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The only thing I wish on the gift certificate cards is they would, not all of them do this, but give you an option to say when they email said person an electronic thing, if it's not them giving you a physical piece of plastic, they're going to send you in the mail.
Well, most of them do. Amazon does that. You can point out which one, what date. Adafruit does it too. So there's that. But giving somebody a Christmas gift via email, it's kind of,
I know. There is
I'll just print it myself.
There's a company that has a pretty good catalog of selling anime. It's called Right Stuff. I think it's with a single F. And so I get it for one individual, but the problem is they used to take like 3 weeks and they would mail me this like little certificate and I could put it in a card and give it to them or whatever. But instead what they do is they require you to give the email of the person. And so he always gets his thing early. So I'll probably do it, if I don't do it this week, I'll do it next week or something. And he'll get his thing early and he's okay. He's cool with that. And then that gives him opportunity in the Christmas sale season to use his certificate and also buy some stuff. Right. And get it early. So, and that's the only kind of thing I wish they would, send me something physically or at the very least put a release date on it, right?
Yeah.
Release it on Christmas Day, that kind of thing. And sadly, they don't do that. They're pretty low profile on their gift certificate situation. But for him, that's a pretty solid, perfect gift for him. Yeah. So. And that's the tradition he comes to expect, and he's cool with it. So,
well, if they're cool with it, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Any other tips? Other sites that you could think of?
I will tell you some in the U.S. So one that's perfect for your geek friends. However, all of your geek friends are using it. I'm pretty positive 90% of my gifts every year at New Year's come from this site. It's called thinkgeek.com here in the U.S. It's got awesome stuff throughout the year. And they're also really a good place to go check out on April 1st because they always have some kind of fundamental joke, which then gets so popular they turn it into an actual thing. That was the Tauntaun sleeping bag, from Star Wars.
One tip, though, if you are not from the U.S., don't shop there because the prices on shipping things to you is so expensive. Usually it's more to actually receive the stuff than it is actually worth. So they should have a European headquarters in a store somewhere here and do that.
They've been around forever and they're pretty awesome. I remember one time I reached out to them just as a compliment, saying, "Hey, that Wi-Fi shirt looks really awesome," and they found out I had a podcast. And this was just like I made one little stupid YouTube video, but they were like, "Oh, send me your address." And I'm like, "Okay." Whatever. I thought it was something related to podcast. And boom, I got a Wi-Fi shirt from them for free.
Cool.
And I made a little stupid YouTube video out of it and unassociated with podcast or whatever. And then what it ended up turning into is they put it as like users highlight thing, on their, I don't know if it's still there if you find the Wi-Fi shirt. And so my face and my little review in the old house are, it might still be one of their, users review videos kind of thing. So
another one, J-List.
It depends. So if you're looking for non-adult related content, J-Box, right?
It's the same
you could
site
do, have them send you stuff, Pocky from Japan. However, if you hunt around your local town or your major market city, you can also go buy Pocky or your comic store. They sell Pocky. Those kinds of things you can get. If you're looking for, absolutely, like really creepy things, adult-related things.
Well,
They
basically,
also have,
JList is the entire site with everything on it. So, and JBox is just the safe stuff.
the safe stuff. Yeah.
But they have like figurines and plushies and stacks and comics and other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is a little adult corner there.
Yes, there's definitely is. And I talked with that guy. Interesting guy. Yeah, I mean, he's got an operation, and he's been running it since 2000s. I think I wouldn't even say since the late 90s. So yeah, it's
he has
a well-established.
He has this interesting. He has a newsletter that he sends out.
Yeah.
So
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I signed up for the newsletter. This is the only newsletter I actually signed up for because he has some. I used to be really into anime, and he had some stuff in there like how things work with this in Japan, stuff like that. So I ended up following that email list. That was a good source of information for gifts and for other stuff.
Yeah, what else? There's definitely a lot of if you're looking for people for like clothing, there's a ton of like t-shirt places for hoodies and t-shirts and all kinds of merchandising and apparel. There's a ton of I found one that's not exactly fly by night, but there's a ton of like if you want to get 100 mugs made or little foldable frisbees or growlers or
fidget spinners.
Yeah, whatever you want. You can find a ton of those kind of merchandising sites that you can buy like a minimum number of a dozen and find out that it doesn't cost as much as you realize. And and get a temporary gift that is like one-off unique no one else can get, right? Because you designed it up or something like that. So there's some of that stuff. But everything else is going to be conditionalized based on what you know about the person. So while there is probably a lot of good sites that you can go check out, I'm not a Pinterest person, so you can't snoop my Pinterest or my Instagram because I don't really say much there. I don't have much to share. My stuff is
what's also a good one is Etsy. So when you're talking about Pinterest, Etsy is a really good source of
So these are the cases,
gifts.
Limited edition kind of things. And I had looked at that in the past. What else? There's a site that will 3D print stuff like even in steel. People put up their models and stuff up there. I forget what it's called.
Shapeways.
And so you Shapeways, yeah. So you might be able to find something neat there. There's also Kickstarter, I think, for some limited cases.
Don't give somebody a Kickstarter, please. That's a horrible idea. I'm still waiting on my bleeping printer.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, don't make it as like a secondary kind of gift. I happen to buy something for me where they've shipped out 96% of them, but this is the third iteration of something they're producing. But I bought myself a gift, right? And I have done that. I bought some stuff that's uniquely only accessible, via that. In one case, I gave this individual a couple things, and then his primary gift was the Micron. And I said, but you won't get it until somewhere in June, which is about when I see him. And he's like, okay, cool. And then every once in a while he goes, yeah, I use that thing. I'm like, it's awesome. I use it every once in a while. But that was his gift, right? Yeah. And so it was a risk idea to try, and it worked out just fine.
Yeah.
Even though the timing was expected to not be immediate.
Yeah.
And it turned out just okay.
Okay. Yeah. Just one other thing, if you're not sure, and their family or friends, be very careful with what you ask.
Yeah.
Right? Because people can misunderstand you. I've run into this problem before. So don't ask too much about what they like, or don't be too direct, but be like, oh, I saw him with this, and Yeah, maybe. Oh, that would be a nice gift, right? Something like that, something stupid.
Yeah.
But if you say like that might be a nice gift, that might trigger people to either tell them or
Right.
just or be very careful about that and them not telling him or her or whatever.
Yeah, you
Right.
can't
So just
trust
be very
factor.
careful about who you ask and what you tell them, because that could be a very big mistake. Right. So they can misunderstand what's going on, or they can misunderstand that they're not supposed to tell them. That could be an issue.
I can tell you my family is not very competent when it comes to social media, period. But they're on some places. And I think it's
Are they
more
good
of
at keeping secrets though?
or that or you can't really trust them for that. My mother likes to gossip, so though she has a limited group of people that she can gossip with, but she likes it, she loves it. So the other degree or problem related to this is also you don't know how tight they are. So as you were alluding to, they could be really tight and then you can't trust them. Or they're really tight and you think you can trust them, but really reality is you don't know them well enough. But in my case, my family and I aren't really like super tight about like totally with those details. As finding my stepbrother and asking him stuff, I think he's going to have a general problem of knowing. Right, he won't really know. And then if he surfaces about and starts asking questions or starts looking around, that's an indicator. He's looking. That's why when I see Jefferson show up every once in a while, I go, "Oh, he's trying to figure out what the gift's going to be for Christmas," or he just makes an assumption and goes with that. So,
I think
you can't really rely on that stuff. If you're gonna sleuth, you just got to be careful.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we've discussed gifts enough. The gifting has happened. I think we have some fun stuff and some books.
I guess we do,
music.
don't we? Don't we always?
Okay. So I think I'm starting. Great. So I was watching YouTube and I saw that Vsauce put their new season of Minefield on YouTube Red. Now I can buy each episode, so I bought one of the episodes.
Okay, that's cool. You can't get Red directly?
No. It's not available here in the Netherlands.
It surprises me some things that are owned by YouTube and don't have anything to do with about like local broadcasting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Why they don't just make that available to other parts of the world. There must be some legality reasons for these things, but it doesn't make any sense to me, at least on the outset.
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea. It's just then they don't do it. But at least I can buy the episodes individually, so that's good. And that means they're basically just like movies. Like you can buy movies through Google Play, and that's the actual thing that they use. They use Google Play for that. And your Google Play purchases are on YouTube now, so I can just go and watch movies on YouTube.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And that's Polymatic.link/DA for that.
Cool. So I have a bunch of them.
I didn't tell anybody what Minefield actually is. So the guy from Vsauce, he's called Michael.
Yeah.
Hello, Vsauce. Michael here. That's basically his introduction to all his.
Looks like Wheezy Waiter.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's currently doing. He did a series last year where he did some mind-related stuff, getting locked up in a box for 2 days, 48 hours, I think. So that was interesting, and he all sorts of mental psychiatry experiments and stuff. Now there's season 2 where he takes ayahuasca. So there's that. So that was fun. Polymatic.link/DA for that.
Him and Adam Savage are traveling around, at least in the U.S. right now, or were.
Brain Candy tour.
Yeah, Brain Candy. And so when you see the two of them together, you really get a sense of that is, he's really about like educating and exploring the scientific edge of things.
Yeah.
Him taking maybe some drugs or whatever is not for the sake of taking drugs. It's more of exploring the educational scientific track of it.
Yeah.
So, and that's what Vsauce has always been about, anyways, right? So.
You usually get like one video a month, and then that video is like half an hour. And
okay, I was going to ask that.
Yeah, and then it's like, it's usually good stuff.
I like Vsauce stuff, but sometimes, when his stuff was like maybe 6 minutes long, I could buy into that. But then he progressively got longer and longer and longer on his Vsauce videos. So sometimes when I'm watching YouTube stuff, I don't have the exact patience for a 30-minute thing.
Just put it on your watch later.
Yeah. So that's the only reason that I don't watch the stuff, but that's not demnifying about like how good he is from my point of view. I think it's very good stuff. It's just very long format. And as long as you are given to that and understand that and accepting of that, you're probably good to go.
Okay.
So I guess I got one. So this is a Vox video. Pretty sure it's a Vox video, but I think it's a very good topic. It's about Technicolor, and surprisingly how what occurred there really has set the kind of expectations we use in filmmaking and everything. And so how Technicolor had changed Hollywood. Polymatic.link/DF. Okay.
I saw that.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did. But didn't see the toes curling up. I didn't see that. That was kind of sad that didn't happen. But hey. Yeah. Extracting urea. Now Red is a YouTuber that does interesting science and chemistry videos. Polymatic.link/DG for that. He uses his own pee, by the way.
Okay, all right. I was gonna say a little. Okay. So this is this guy Dom showed up. He made a couple of videos. I feel like I've shared probably at least one of his other videos. I'm subscribed to the guy, but I don't necessarily. He doesn't put out a lot of content, and I'm not gone back to look at a lot of stuff he's done. But today you have Polymatic.link/DG. It's called Content, and it's a short film. And whether you realize it or not, I don't know, it has a twist to it. So this is more about like the kind of stuff the guy produces, which is he produces a thing, a little film, for whatever is good or bad. It's I don't know, I liked it, I enjoyed it, and that's why I'm sharing it. So Polymatic.link/DG. Did you watch it, John?
Yes, I did.
And did you like it? The joke is a joke about itself. It's a little meta, but in the same respect, I don't know, I enjoyed it well enough. So
okay, so there's a Minecraft song called Ballad of the Cats. It's in the second soundtrack pack thing that C418 made. I just wanted to share it. Polymatic.link/DN for that.
Okay, awesome. I will probably check it out. I knew nothing about it, but that's fine.
Good to it's in the nether.
Yeah. So Polymatic.link/DH. This is a guy who creates art using Excel. Yes, Excel by Microsoft. He creates art out of it. Originally, I thought it was going to be something else, but it wasn't. It was something better. Yeah. Guy's got talent. And
somebody should give him Illustrator. Somebody should give him Illustrator.
Really, they should. Maybe they should gift it to him. So Polymatic.link/DH. Pretty impressive art, I think, given the consideration. But you know what it comes down to? It really sells the point that it is not about the tool. It's about the individual and the tools that they yield. Because I used to get a little pissed off, especially when I was younger, where people are like, oh, man, that's really pretty. Oh, that's really awesome. Whoa, what piece of software did you use to do that? And when they ask that, they're not asking, oh, you're sharing this with me and you did a really good job. Sometimes like they slide that in. They're saying, oh, if you can do it, it must be easy. It must be all about the software. And I used to get, for years, I used to get little irritated about it. Like, here's the software. Good luck with being great at that, dude. It was kind of like how I came to it in my egotistical 20s or teenage years.
But it's the same thing as somebody comes into your stream and asks you, what kind of tablet do you have, right?
Right, yeah.
What software is that? It's like,
right. Oh, yeah, all this is automatic. And so I used to get a little mad about it when it comes to people creating music videos. And yes, the tools today do lots of automagic things where you literally can take, like, even Microsoft Photos with their new recent plugin and slap a bunch of videos and photos together, just like Facebook does. And it runs through an algorithm, put some funky music on it, and there you go. You made a music video. And yes, there's lots of things that do that, but making a great music video or a great piece of production is about the people who wield the tools, not about the software that's being used. Yeah. I'm sure you've seen these speed painting things where people have made amazing things with MS Paint.
Yep.
Right? They've made awesome art with MS Paint. And those same people also do really amazing things in Photoshop and in Illustrator, right?
Yeah, or an iPad with simple drawing app.
Exactly. Yeah. So don't think it's all the software. The software helps. It's not the thing.
Anyway, that's Polymatic.media/DH for that.
Yeah.
Little hamster thingy, Polymatic.media/DL, a hamster playpen. Your hamster gets put into a playpen for about half an hour. Yeah.
Is this about your the stuff you were building?
No. I didn't complete that, but that was a bit intensive. I did that while I was suffering from fever and coughing like crazy.
Ah, okay. Yeah, well, projects that never go finished.
Yep.
That's why I was laughing.
It was finished. It was finished.
Yeah.
Just intensive.
Yeah. All right. So, Way Too Catchy. This is about music that gets stuck in your ears and why. And I'll leave it at that. You either like this opening theme song or you don't. Certainly, I didn't get caught in my head, but definitely pretty awesome. Anyways, Polymatic.link/DI. John, did you listen to this, watch this? Were you familiar with the opening?
Woohoo. The next video actually attaches to that. So Polymatic.link/DM shows you something else related to this, but it's in Dutch.
That I gotta listen to. I didn't make the link for it, but my buddy Kyle One-Ed, for a period of time, he was creating the openings for cartoons for the podcast. People were requesting things and donate a little bit of money, and then he would turn around and would make the tune. And he made one for us with that theme. So I'll find it. I'll share it with you, John, or even send you a copy. It's pretty awesome. I like it, actually. So, okay. So how things work. I already forgot what this is, but Polymatic.link/DJ. John, can you remind me what did you watch this?
I don't remember what this is.
I feel like it's a thing that I gave a different title for. Yeah. Give me a sec. As soon as a browser will open.
It was it linked to a Twitter thing, I think.
Oh, yes. Okay. No. Yes. Now I know. So there's a Twitter called learn_things. And so what's typically on here are brief videos and or GIFs or something that kind of teach you something about science or show you something or demonstrate something about science. And that's it. Learn_things. How things work is what they're calling it, I guess, or do science or something like that. And yeah. That's what it is. It's a Twitter feed. I heard about this. I checked it out. Saw a couple things. A little farther down the line, he's like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that." And so that's it. It takes you to Twitter, a thing to follow. You'll find out pretty quickly if you want to follow it. So if you want a moment of something during your week, how things work. Polymatic.link/DJ.
So you said something there. Was it a GIF or a GIF?
I always called it. I always called it GIF
Yeah, me too.
or GIF. To me, it almost doesn't matter.
No,
like it
me
doesn't
neither.
really
But
matter.
I just wanted to know.
But here's the thing. I go back all the way in the day where I knew what they were. I remember when they didn't exist. So I'm not coming from, what did I call it then? I didn't have any particular, I follow whatever the conversation is. I really don't have any. Look, it's either peanut butter or it's not. And then if you get that reference, there is Jif peanut butter.
I know.
Yeah. And I ironically, somewhere in the 2000s, I worked for the company that owned the copyright on the compression algorithms, right? So it was a topic of conversation more than I wanted to hear about because I worked at the company that owned the copyright to basically GIF, whatever. So,
remember the game you got, Poop the Game? So there's an explanation of how to play it. Polymatic.media/DP double poop.
Yeah. All right. That's cool. All right. And then last one, I think it's just because of timing. I'm not making any political stance, but these guys, they used to put out more little sketch videos more frequently, but now it's like maybe once a year at best. And this one, this kind of hurts because it speaks the truth about what's going on here in the U.S. net neutrality. Doesn't affect you guys in Europe, but nonetheless.
No, it does. It does.
Does it really?
Yeah, it does.
So polymatic.link/DL, that was not planned. But it does. It's a very progressive, very honest take on what's really going on here in the U.S. about net neutrality. It is, in supporting it, it hurts the people that have come to be the conglomerates for owning the internet in the U.S. And so they're looking to make more money. Period.
Yep.
They're not looking to provide service. And I can tell you, I only had one option in this house for 4 or 5 years of living here. And their attitude is exactly this. And I had this opinion well before only having one option. And then I moved away when it comes to the net neutrality stance, probably the worst of two options. Comparatively. One is practicing this thing with their customers already. The other one is not so much, but the speeds are better.
Yeah.
And at least I have options, but their goal and their interest is not to serve the customer. And if there's something that keeps them from lawfully doing that, then they have been doing this. They're not doing it. They are doing it today. But they call it fast laning, and they've been extorting anybody who is the most popular thing on the internet, right? Period.
Yeah.
That includes your Facebook, that includes YouTube, that includes Netflix, any of the large streamers, right? That's what they've been doing. So they're saying, we won't guarantee our service to your customers on our networks.
Yeah. It's
if
skeezy.
you don't pay us some quality of service fee. And
disgusting.
You can label it however you want, but this is what's been going on for the longest time. And the irony is the way they get their bandwidth is they pay one or two of these companies at the fiber level, right?
Yeah.
They have big, huge, clusters of optics that come in. They pay them to service it up. Then they pay them to be extorted by them, and then they pay them. And this is just, it's not good. And it's not clean, honest business. It's just business. So net neutrality screws them all up, and
that's good for them.
And so under President Obama, they did the first part of this that screwed them up a bit more. That was supposed to take effect real soon, but now this whole thing with net neutrality is I think this link will tell you more than you didn't know. And it's not safe for work. That's simple as this. So I assume you watched it.
Yeah, I did watch part of it, but I already knew all this stuff. So yeah. Over here we do have net neutrality laws, I think.
Yeah.
So there's not much they can mess with. But there's people coming into power that could actually mess with this again. We have other problems too, because they recently added a law that allows them to snoop on everybody's traffic, so they can basically just put something in the network somewhere and just snoop on everything. It's like, what the hell? So there's a referendum coming about that, so we'll see what happens to that. But they're trying to kill the referendum, so yay. We'll see.
Yeah, but here in the U.S. we have a political system that's cooked in whatever favor they want.
Oh,
so,
same here. Just more parties. It's all the same junk.
And they set up the person, the department or the commission that has control over things. And they cook the books in their favor intentionally.
Yeah.
And they plan for this. So, the
In
only
Holland,
kind of bad thing about companies that do all the things, if they don't come from a good point of view, a good mission statement or charter, things get distorted. And it's the same thing with like Google, Microsoft, Facebook. The day they decide to be evil, all bets are off. Same thing with Amazon, right?
Yeah. Over here we have an expression. We have an expression called, it's not called something. It's wij van WC Eend adviseren WC Eend. We of Toilet Duck advise Toilet Duck. WC Eend is Toilet Duck. It's a product to clean your toilet. So we of the company advise this product. This is basically what's going on. And what's happening is that people used to either work for the company or soon after they're done with their public service, go work for that company. They mess things up really bad, and then that company gets a little short benefit, and then everything else goes to poop.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I work for one of these ISPs, and I have worked in numerous places career-wise where I've done things for the other ISPs. Am I a part of the evil? No. The things that I did isn't a part of the evil. but to the point, it was always easier to swallow the pill when you were getting paid by the verse being the reason that they did these things. Yeah. And it really just comes to have to do with dominance and power, right? Monopolizing situation. And here's the thing. The internet will still remain to be free, but anyone who's trafficking toll roads across it, right? There used to be many. Now there's just a few. And I think that's the big point, is just a few want to employ some bunch of control, right? Because they have the dominant toll roads. They've rebuilt better infrastructure that isn't on the government's bottom line.
Yeah.
So now they want to change the government's bottom line so they can freely do whatever business they want, right? So, that's what it comes down to. I'm highly paraphrasing, but that's what it comes down to. And so I think as sadly as the U.S. becomes a model for how to do things in the world, I guess to your point, John, that if the U.S. does it, other people get wise to using that as a rational excuse. So fight for it. I think that's the point.
Okay, speaking of this, actually something like this happening in that book. Persepolis Rising came out, which is the 7th book in the Expand series, by James S.A. Corey, which is Ty Franks and I forgot the other guy's name. Anyway, it skips 30 years into the future of that book series. I have just finished it just before we started the podcast. It is a good installation. It is the start of a new part of the story. So finishing it and then having to wait another year for another book is going to be very hard. So I hope that they bring out some sort of novella or something. Well, and there's some major plot developments, some major things that happen that are sad. It was a good book. That was a good book. So you can find it at Polymatic.media/DB for Audible, and Polymatic.link/dd for a hardcover book on Amazon.
Awesome. I really should make an effort to do some Audible stuff, but again, like I said, I have always used the excuse of having too much problem with not making enough time for podcasts. Right, I have such a back catalog, but then again, I've been pick and choosing with some of them. Right, when I find time, maybe I should better fulfill that with like some Audible books. I don't know. It's on my mind. It's on my mind.
Get Leviathan Wakes on Audible.
Okay, so you have some music stuff.
Oh yeah. Right? I'm just gonna say Aria or something as the title of the group or person that does this, Into the Faraway. It's Polymatic.link/de. Mm-hmm. I liked it. I was like, yeah, I should probably share this.
I added this to sort of my little musical bubble of listening recently. No, not recently. I've done this in the last few months, on and off. This is an artist that I caught up with this year. I bought a bunch of successive albums that she had that I didn't have, and then the latest, because she had something that was released I think earlier in this year as a new album. I really do like this artist, and every time I hit a song I go, let me confirm who I think it is Ingrid Michaelson. So I just gave you like a live video of hers that's from like a slightly older album, Polymatic.link/DK. I really do like her stuff. It ranges from poppy energetic sounds to not necessarily energetic sounds, not necessarily dramatic. I don't know what you would call it. She's not like over the top like Tori Amos. She's not like, she might be more in the Sarah Bareilles or
hipster
Sarah
music.
McLachlan, or that kind of, I can't think of a modern equivalent for her, but she's got range. That's the point, and I've always enjoyed her music, and I've been following her since her first album, and that was it. Ingrid Michaelson, Polymatic.link/DK. Probably not your thing, John. I don't know really what your thing
I
is,
don't know.
but
it started out good, and then I got really, meh.
Well, she's got a lot of stuff up on her YouTube channel, all the way up. And see the new, whatever the introductory song was for the new release for the new album, I think that came out this year, if not end of last year, was Hell No was the song, which is more falls into the pop area. And the music video that she released and that she created is, I follow her, she plays with Snapchat all the time, especially the those skins, those faces, and she made a whole music video out of it. Which was kind of interesting. And then what she did was, when I was in the channel, she made the ASL version of it, the sign language version of it, which I thought was really kind of cool. And so that was kind of neat. I watched that too. I also like the song, so watching and hearing it for a second time was not a problem for me. So, but you can find all that inside that YouTube channel, and she's got a lot of sadly what artists do today is they throw up their album with a still image. So if you want to hear all her albums, they're basically all there.
You know why they do that, right?
Because YouTube is the most searchable thing, and also gets them hits, and it puts them into the algorithm, and
it also allows them to prevent other people from uploading their stuff.
Content uploading, yeah.
Because then their music gets marked as saying, "Hey, this is my music."
Yeah.
So Alan, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter, CHAESS.
Yeah, think about that one, didn't you?
I'm a little more active, but not tremendously. But I've been making more comments on there a little more frequently as of late. Actually, I spend more time responding to people than I put out content, so to speak. So,
you can find me on Twitter at webdevy, WEBDEVVIE. Or for feedback, you can reach us at podcast@Polymatic.media. Our Twitter's The Polymatic. Our website is Polymatic.media, and I hope you tune in next time. The music in this episode was by Say Uns. It was licensed under Creative Commons Attribution and found on the Free Music Archive. You can find these tracks at shorter.com/PRK.